wanted to say that Noam and the kids are here, and he might.
Okay.
So that's a flag.
Shana Tova. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here with your beautiful flags. In a moment, we'll blow shofar, and with the help of our elders, we'll light holiday candles. I'd like to invite up at this moment anyone who considers themselves an elder to please come forward to the bima, and the rest of us will sing you forward. We'll also need our shofar blowers.
Our candle lighting is found on page 11.
Yeah. Come on forward, guys, if you can. Yep. You can fill in. Fill on in.
Maybe we need a match.
Wow. There we go.
It's like rubbing sticks together.
Oh, gosh.
So close.
Is it gonna light? Is it gonna light? Here, fun.
Oh. I don't.
You all, this feels like such an apt metaphor as we come into this year together.
We have kindled lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel yom tov. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Tekiah.
One more great one.
Tekiah Gadolah.
Thank you so much to our loved ones. Thank you so much, elders and young people and everyone in between. Shana Tova, everyone. Shana Tova. Oh my God. Let's just please feel, although we are standing on risers, that we are all holding this container together. Welcome, everyone, to Shir Tikvah. Thank you so much to our young people for creating these flags that represent your hopes and your visions for this year to come. May it be, I really welcome you after the service to come up and really take a look at these wishes. It's really incredible, and I feel very inspired, and I felt inspired all week since getting to see these flags be created just by your incredible vision, beloved young ones. So welcome. Let's just take a moment and take a breath together. Take a moment and look around this room, greet each other. Maybe it would be wonderful to hear some hubbub of greeting, of saying, hello, I'm so glad you're here. We made it. I know it's so mean. The moment I'm like, go talk amongst yourselves, I'm like, but then come back. So I am grateful. I want to begin with words of gratitude. I'm grateful to this amazing davening team here and to everyone who will be lending their voices and their spirits to this davening. I'm grateful to Shir Tikvah's staff, to our tremendous lay leadership and volunteers who have offered your hands and your hearts and your imaginations to bring us together in this shared, brave space. So welcome everyone to Big Shir Tikvah on ancestral Dakota land. So I want to just offer us this moment to check in on how we're feeling right now. If we can just feel our hearts, feel our bodies in space, notice what we're carrying into this moment. I want to acknowledge that within our community are many with Israeli and Palestinian and Lebanese and Iranian family and beloveds. To each of you who is grieving and shaken in this moment, this community meets you with a depth of love and care, and pray that you find sanctuary and balm in these holidays. The litany of devastation that we face in this moment is immense and specific. How are we to pray for our own well-being in the year to come? How are we to sing to this imagination of a divine authority who inscribes us in a book of life, a book of death? So we return to our traditional words this year after a time of incredible rupture, and we return to nourish and to ground and to open. All we can do is open to these days and to the work that lies ahead of us, to what our hearts need to move through, what our souls need to face. The stakes are high, and we who are here on the Bima have been holding that sense of yira, that sense of the awesome and awful responsibility of leading our community in prayer. But I want us to ground in the trust and the knowing that we have the tools we need to face this moment, and we have the tools we need to do our deep spiritual work. We will be co-creating these holy days together, and by we I mean big we. The we that is in this space and the we that is zooming in. Rabbi Joey and I have been in active process of revising. I feel like it's vising and revising. Rewriting, reimagining our services, and we come to you this year more than ever, raw, humble, open, present, and determined. We're scared, and we're committed to learning together how to welcome a new year in. And we are turning to our liturgy and our tradition with big questions about how all of this will feel, how all of this will work. But we know our prayers will rise. A story is told about one high holidays when the Baal Shem Tov was praying together with his students, and he had a sense that the prayers were not getting through, the prayers weren't rising, and the harsh heavenly decree that was hovering overhead was not being overturned. And a child wandered into the shul. You might know this story. A child wandered into the shul to pray, but she couldn't read the letters. She couldn't read the words. And she felt helpless. And so she opened to the first page of the Machzor and she recited the letters she saw: Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled. And she started to cry, yearning to say the words and unable to say them. And she cried out, "This is all I can do. This is all I can do. God, you know how the words should be pronounced, so please rearrange these letters in the proper way." And louder and with more intensity, she recited those letters. And the people around her began to kvetch. And they were like, ugh, who is this young person who's shouting the alphabet? But the Baal Shem Tov silenced them and asked the people to hear, because this child's prayers were opening the gates of heaven. And I think this year, I imagine there's not one of us who is not that child, coming to the words, coming to our tradition, saying, how are we to open? How are we to pray? So what I want to ask is that you not hold yourself back till you find the perfect words. Don't wait. Rather, use every spiritual tool available to find your way in. If the words aren't working for you, keep going. Reach for your heart's words. Whether they be rageful words or loving words or yearning words, keep breathing, keep reaching, keep singing, keep connecting. Each word in our prayers are intended to be a key to our hearts, a key to the new year. So Rabbi Joey and I, and the davening team and the choir to come, and Shir Tikvah's staff and board, all of our congregant collaborators have been pouring our energy into these impossible and crucial holidays, with the fervent prayer that these days together might serve as a soft landing. Rabbi Joey and I imagined a cocoon that we could enter. Can we imagine that together? A cocoon that we enter, protective and whole, but a space for tremendous work and transformation. So let us open ourselves towards life with determination and courage. We offer this sanctuary in service of beckoning a new world out of the wreckage. We are not escaping or turning away from the world, but let us let our grief and our hope, our disorientation and our yearning move us towards renewed commitments for justice and a deepening of empathy. Let us deepen our connection with what came before and our commitment to a world of safety and liberation for all people. And let us greet the new year with full voice, full heart, brave and humble spirit. Let us inspire each other with the audacity of our vision and the vibrancy of our song. You ready? We are so lucky to not be alone in this work, and it is my joy to invite Julie Madden, Peace and Justice Ministries Director here at St. Joan of Arc, onto your bima. So maybe this microphone? Oh, great, perfect.
I'll tell you, as a Catholic woman, it's really cool to be up here, so. They let me up here all the time. I so needed to be here for what you just said. Good evening. And we welcome you, as we say here, wherever you are on your journey. It's been a year. But we are so blessed by your presence and your prayer among us, over us again. Shir Tikvah to us is a prophetic community. In your work and your witness for justice and for peace for all of God's people, and we know that that takes a toll. But I hope you know that you inspire us and you galvanize us constantly, and we are so proud to be your neighbors. We wish you beautiful days and evenings here, a time of sanctuary, rising, repair, renewal, restoration, and may we all go forward together, seeing the way ahead in a new way. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Thank you, Julie. So we'll sing together on the first song in our supplement, Achot Ketana. We've been singing this piyut for many years now as a community, and we sing about Achot Ketana, a little sister who prays and sings and wishes for a better world. We sing out, and I know many people have been saying this year, may the curses of this year end, and may the blessings of the new year begin. And this year, it feels to me like a protest anthem, a rejection of the subjugation and the cruelty of the last year, a reminder that we must speak out against harm and call new possibilities in. Tachel shana uvirchotecha. May the new year and her blessings begin. Let's sing.
In a moment, we'll turn to page 20 and sing the words of Baruch Hu. This is the first time in our davening that we're called tonight to have a minyan, to pray with a group of at least 10, to be able to call each other into prayer. I'd love to pause and really feel the power and presence of the hundreds of people in person and virtually who make up our minyan. Community is not always easy. It is filled with headaches and heartache, disagreements and support and power. Let's sense into how it feels in this moment to be together. Taking a big breath in and out. We'll continue rising in body or rooting in spirit on page 20.
Yalai, 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 yalai,
Folks can take a seat. On the very next page, page 22, we give thanks to a God, to a world of creation that brings both light and darkness. I invite folks to take a moment to notice the light in this space, to notice the changing light of this season as the days are getting shorter and shorter and the nights are getting longer. How does that growing darkness land on your heart? Where are the places of joy in that darkness? What are the places of hardness? Taking a big breath in and out.
הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, הוא מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, יללי, יללי,
We turn to page 24. Here we have a chance to bless a God that brings love into this world. I'd like to invite you to call to mind a moment of true and joyous love in this past year. A person who has brought spirit and joy into your life. Taking a big breath in and out.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו והם נגי יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים יללי יללי
We turn to the Shema on page 26. If it's your tradition, feel free to rise.
Shema.
We turn to the next page. You can be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The Chamocha on page 34 is a prayer of liberation. As we sing this together, we become aware of two hands. In one hand, we hold the journey that maybe we had in this past year of coming through something and arriving to a new place. In the other hand, we know that none of us are free until all of us are free. So we recognize both personal liberation for those who have come through something in this year and our aspirational vision for a world of liberation for all.
We turn to page 36. We daven 3 lines down for a world of interconnected solidarity, of safety and peace.
I had this feeling when preparing for the high holidays this year that it was going to sneak up on me. The moments of prayer were going to sneak up on me. That there would be time of just sort of hovering above it. I don't know. I'm looking at you to see if this is really if this is feeling like this for you too, like hovering somehow above it. And then I just have this anticipation that there will be moments for me and maybe for you where I'll feel like I'm just like, oh, and I just crashed through whatever it was that was keeping me out. And now here I am all the way in. And as I was preparing, we're about to announce the new month. And by new month, what do I mean? The new year. If only we gathered together every month to be like, dress up nice and welcome the new month.
It is also a new month.
We can try it. We could do that, yeah, next year. But we gathered now to announce the new year. And as I was preparing for this, I had this, and we'll see if I was right, but this suspicion that something that has felt to me pretty innocuous. Okay, it was 1 year, now we're announcing the next year. There was 1 year at Shir Tikvah where I accidentally announced us 700 years back into the past. I'm sorry. But this feeling of getting to say we're entering something, we're on the cusp of something, actually lets us then say, how have we been changed by this year? To say we're naming something that we don't know yet. We're naming a new year before we've met it. lets us actually come to the place of considering, what is this new year? Right? If we don't name it, we can't know it. And so I want to invite us, we're about to sing these words that we've sung together now for probably 7 years. Strange. Oh, we can't take back what is done, what is past, so let us lay down our fear. And I hope that those words are chilling. We can't take back what is done and what is past. The destruction has been done. Let us start from here. But may we, as we say and welcome the new year, welcome it with full hearts. May we also ground in accountability for the year that we are leaving. Goodbye. So we open, and I just want to invite, it's okay if things that felt innocuous in years past move us all the way in, okay? We're with you. I'm with you. We're going to be crying too. But I just want to invite us there, that these are not neutral words. These are not passive words. These are words of dedication and declaration. We can't take back what is done. Let us lay down our fear. Let us learn. Let us remember. Let us be accountable. Let us atone and start from there. So I'm going to invite us to turn first to our programs number 2, and we're going to sing, and to rise and root. And then we'll turn to page 15. So have page 15 already open. And I'm going to invite you to sing really loud. I don't usually have to say that to Shir Tikvah, but I feel like we're still warming up in our space.
No, we can't take back
תהינו, יהי רצון שנזכה לברכותיך בשנת 5785. אלוהי עולם ברך אותנו ואת כל בית ישראל ואת כל יושבי תבל בחידוש ימינו בשמחה ובשלום בנחמה ובאומץ לב בחילוץ עצמות וברוח איתנה. יהי פרי שפתנו מקובל ורצוי מלפניך בפרוס השנה החדשה. לעד מודים אנחנו לך על מתנת החיים. Let's read aloud in English. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5785. I know. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel and the whole world with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. Shana Tova, Shir Tikvah. You may be seated.
We have an incredibly sweet opportunity over these holidays to hear the Torah and wisdom of congregants. We've asked a group of wise-hearted people to fill up this brand new year. Before each Amida throughout our holidays, we've asked congregants to share a thought, a piece of Torah about what is beautiful and precious coming into this year. How are they rising or rooting into their Amida? And I have just such the utter pleasure of welcoming Wendy Horowitz from all the way on Zoom to share with us tonight.
Shana Tova, Umituka. The Amida, standing. For praying tefillah, standing is so important. It's another name for the prayer. One of the most beautiful things about Jewish practice is the opportunity we create for reflection and gratitude. Our prayers are those of thanks rather than requests for things. The Amida reminds us that our God is one who bestows loving kindness and goodness and who creates everything. As I have dug deeper into my Jewish practice, my understanding of God has changed from a belief in an external power to the understanding that in my belief, the presence of God, Shekhinah, exists in everything and everyone. We are all God. I have been in a conscious relationship with my body for as long as I can remember. For the first part of my life, I was at war with my body. It was just plain never good enough in my mind or per US beauty standards. I constantly wondered if I was thin enough or pretty enough to be worthy of the world. Coming into a relationship with Shekhinah has shifted my focus to one of gratitude for the divine spark within us all, and that includes me. I've started asking different questions about my body. Does my body do what I need it to do most of the time? I have to acknowledge that it does. I've developed gratitude for my relative health, that I'm able to communicate and interact with other people and some dogs in a way that I want because my body allows it. I'm a caregiver for my spouse, whose body does not allow for standing easily. Shir Tikvah's minhag, or custom, is to request that people rise or root, or rise in body or spirit. This minhag calls attention to the body, the differences among our bodies, and reminds us that standing is not the actual requirement. It's not the only way to show our respect, that simple awareness of our bodies is enough, that we and our prayers are enough. The High Holy Days call a lot of attention to our bodies in the way we eat or don't eat, stand or don't stand, are present in person or virtually. My prayer is that we allow ourselves to appreciate what our bodies are capable of and give ourselves grace and extra love in times when our bodies fail us.
Can you hear it? So, Yeshua. We'll move into our standing or rooting prayer, our Amida. It's a quiet prayer largely, but we'll start off together in song on page 42. I invite you to rise or root. Folks can be seated. In a moment, we'll turn to not to mourners Kaddish, I'm sorry, to Misha Berach, an opportunity to pray for those in need of healing. Tonight, I'm particularly holding, and I'd ask us to hold, folks who are suffering displacement after a hurricane in the southeastern part of this country, people in Israel, Palestine, and Lebanon tonight who are picking up in fear and devastation. We'll sing the words of Misha Berach, which you can find in number 3 in your supplement. But before we get there, I'll invite us to take a moment to call out the names of anyone that we are thinking of in this moment. Let's take a breath in and out, calling out any of our names.
We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice. We sing you prayer. We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice. We sing you prayer. El Narefan Allah, El Narefan Allah, oh, El Narefan Allah, El Narefan Allah. We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice. We sing you prayer. We sing you healing. We sing you care. We sing you justice. We sing you prayer. El Narefan Allah, El Narefan Allah, oh, El Narefan Allah, El Narefan Allah.
Shana Tova. It is so strange to say those words, happy, good new year. I feel the deep truth of them in the smachot, the weddings and bar mitzvahs, new babies, the small and big pleasures, all the growth that lays ahead in this year. And I also feel the heaviness of Shana Tova in the wake of the terrible attacks on October 7th, the devastating violence in the ensuing year inflicted upon Gaza. Our hearts have been so heavy. A week ago, I had a sermon for tonight, the beginning of an answer to a question of how, over the course of these holidays, we might find a tentative balance, how we might seek joy and sanctuary that strengthens us for all the hard work that lies ahead. After this last week, as friends and teachers in Jerusalem have lived out of bomb shelters, as entire Lebanese towns and neighborhoods have prayed that their loved ones aren't in the rubble, I have felt my precarious balance falter. As so many people have lost their lives or been cast into displacement and fear, I am struggling to know how to find sanctuary, if it's okay to seek sanctuary when there is so much suffering. What I have tonight is not a sermon, not answers, but questions. I have for you an unfinished story with ideas about how we together as a community over these days, how we might be able to finish that story. The story I want to tell, it comes from the book of Nehemiah, from the time after the destruction of the first temple. A long time ago, the Jewish people were lost. They had forgotten their ways. They had suffered greatly, and in their suffering, they no longer knew Torah. But before our tradition could disappear, a great scribe arose. He helped our people remember our Torah. He went to the elders and he collected from them their stories and memories. The scribe, he went all around creation and he went to the divine and he collected their inspiration. The scribe's name was Ezra, and he took all of this wisdom and he pieced together the tradition. He wrote the whole of the Torah. In that first Rosh Hashanah, after finishing his writing, the scribe Ezra brought the people back together to teach them how they should start the year. Ezra told the people that over the next days, God would judge them, would decide if and how they should die. Ezra read to the people from his book, from the Torah, with ink freshly put on the page. He read to them the stories of their beautiful and brutal past. And the people, they started to weep. Ezra was confused. Why do you weep? This is a day of God. This is a day of where joy is permitted. But the people continued to weep. Ezra again went to them and said, "Do not weep. Your joy, your celebration of God will be your strength." But again, the people continued to weep. And as the people wept, their tears started to wash away the letters of Torah. They started to fall back from each other, afraid of each other's anger and sadness. Ezra went back to them and said, "Hasu, hasu, hasu." The scribe told them, "Hush, hush, hush." I wonder where you find yourself in this story. In the scribe, in the Torah, in the people, in the tears. I wonder where God is in this story. I wonder where God is in the story of our Rosh Hashanah today. I wonder how it felt to be the scribe, fearing for the letters of Torah and for the community. I wonder how it felt to be the people hearing the words, "Hasu," hush. I wanted to tell this story tonight because I feel in my own heart so many parts of it. I feel my heart in the people and their tears, in their fear for the future. I feel in my heart, in the scribe, in the instinct to find solace in tradition, in the discomfort with sorrow that is an abyss. At times, over this year, I have found my heart breaking. At times, I find myself hushing that broken heart. At times, that hush is an unwanted scold. At times, that hush is a loving comfort. This story leaves us with unresolved tension. On one side, there's a people losing each other and falling into despair. On the other side, there's a scribe and a tradition unable to acknowledge this despair, calling the people towards each other, towards hope. I am left in this tension. I am left with the question, how can we take in a holiday tonight in a moment of so much fear and anger and sorrow? Again, as promised, I don't have answers, but I have two layers I want to lay on top of our story, two spiritual technologies that our people have developed in the days since the scribe Ezra, two tiny pieces of fabric that might help us to hold together. As we lay these layers on top of our story, I hope that we might see a narrow path between our ancestors' inconsolable weeping and our scribe's desperate hush, between the deep abyss of our heartbreak and a holiday that invites us into inaccessible hope. In the years after Ezra, the Jewish people would build on his Torah. They would find new language and laws to help carry their greatest joys and their deepest sorrows, including the sorrow of grief and mourning. The Talmud in Moed Katan describes the tradition of tearing. When someone witnesses a death or hears of a loved one's passing, they tear their clothing, making a rip over their heart. They wear the same clothing for the period of mourning, providing a visual marker, an invitation for care to their neighbors and community members. After some time, it's permissible to pin the tear, and after a little longer, to mend the tear with irregular stitches, leaving the rip forever visible. In the world of the Talmud, where people only had one or two cloaks or tunics, a person might live their life with the physical markers of their loss, their grieving, and their healing. Over the last months, we have adapted this act of individual remembrance into a practice of communal mourning, tearing clothing together as a way to express and hold our collective brokenheartedness over the violence and loss of life in Israel, Palestine, and now Lebanon. These ripped fabrics now sit in the side of our sanctuary through that little space. And on Sukkot, we'll mend this fabric, turning our tears into ornamentation and beauty. Between our past tearing and our future mending, during these holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we invite you to visit and hold these materials, to rearrange them, tear them further, letting go and sitting with whatever you're feeling in this season. This act of being with this fabric provides a chance to be with our own exposed hearts. The practice, it also moves us to look carefully at other faces for their tears and tears, the visible or invisible. What are the open wounds, imperfectly stitched seams, the grief and anger radiating from Israel, Palestine, and Lebanon at this moment? How can we be present with the range, intensity, and contradiction of these sorrows? What does such presence ask or demand of us? As I lay this fabric on the surface of our story, I feel the tug to reach back towards Ezra's weeping community, to wipe away the tears with our broken fabric. I offer this gesture not as an attempt to erase grief or pain. No, I mean only to say to our ancestors, to ourselves, to our neighbors, you are seen in your suffering. I am not sure how to make this pain go away, but I am here. Centuries after the codification of Kriya, Jewish communities crafted a new textile tradition. Starting about 300 years ago in Germany and spreading around the world, Jewish communities have celebrated festivals, particularly Simchat Torah, with processions of kids carrying flags. Those kids decorated their flags with pictures of their hopes and dreams. This tradition was in part inspired by a biblical mystery. In the book of Song of Songs, we hear of a lover raising a degel ahava to greet their partner at their wedding party. Traditional Jewish readers view the lover as God marrying the people of Israel. Interpreters have wondered for centuries, how would God decorate for God's wedding? How would God adorn that flag of love? What would be on the flag? Kids parading with their homemade flags, this became a way of answering this question. In a form of visual midrash, communities imagined how God might adorn God's flag of love by peering into the paint strokes, curiosity, and beautiful strangeness of their kids' imagination. Jewish communities carried this tradition. Children carried these flags through centuries of Jewish displacement and anti-Semitism. Even as the material realities of life provided little room for hope, the creative expression of kids reminded parents, teachers, and elders of why we struggle, love, and imagine together. We've stepped into this tradition this year with our kids decorating these beautiful flags during the first session of Jammy and processing with these flags earlier tonight. In our kids' flags, we are not just seeing a guess, a representation of God's love. We are being so bold as to assert that our children, through dinosaurs and robots and dogs and cakes, they are enacting prophecy. They are telling us and the divine what God will hope for and love in this year. Throughout these holidays, I invite you to look at these flags, to choose the images and texts that speak to you, to be surprised, to see what joy and solace you might find in these images. As I lay a flag on top of our story, I feel moved to call to the crying community of our story and to the struggling scribe. Look at this. Look at a Jewish future that will survive in order to create, to dream, and to love. Do not stop your tears, but know that this lies ahead. I feel like calling out to the ancestors and calling deeply into myself. Hope does not need to be wholly sensical to make so much sense. For instance, this flag of an oval is labeled preciously with the words, "It's okay if you're not a circle." Hope does not need to be realistic to be real. Hope can be as bold as a vision of true ceasefire, a Middle East in which Jews and Palestinians and their neighbors build connections of mutual dignity. And so with these hopes, I laid this flag on our story. These stories, the story of our ancestors' tears, the story of our uncertainty and fear in the season, the book of life, we get to continue writing these stories together with our vulnerabilities, our imaginations, our pained empathy and overwhelm. And when all of this is too much, we get to outfit ourselves in the ripped and hopeful, chaotic and gorgeous vestments of our tradition, gathering under this quilted patchwork to find each other's hearts. Shana Tova.
Good. We are good. We are flood.
We are flood.
We are the breath of an imperfect God. We are good. We are flood. We are the breath of an imperfect God.
With the words of Avinu Malkeinu, we do the hardest, most vulnerable things. We acknowledge our profound limitations and we ask for help. Oof.
Sweet Tammy.
Oof, is this challenging and scary and more accessible for some of us than others. In my experience, there's two things that make asking for help possible: really needing that help and feeling safe in supported community. So as we sing these words of Avinu Malkeinu, let's practice being together in the contours, breaks, and beauties of our holy presence, and the gentleness of each other's voices will rise or root as we call out on page 76.
Avinu Malkeinu, elanu melech elata. Avinu Malkeinu, lemancha rachem aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Oseh imanu leman shemecha. Avinu Malkeinu, shelach refuah shlema lechole amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, kararo agzar dinenu. Avinu Malkeinu, kodvenu besefer geula vishua.
Avinu Malkeinu, zochrenu bezichron tov lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lemancha v'choshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, shma kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu ve'al aleinu ve'topenu. Avinu Malkeinu, kale daver ve'cherev ve'ra'av me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, kale kotzar umastin me'alenu. Avinu Malkeinu, kodvenu besefer chaim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh aleinu Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chodenu v'aneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu. We'll turn together to page 82. 4 lines from the bottom, 3 words in. The obvious place to begin. Before mourners Kaddish, we want to raise our voices singing Oseh Shalom, offering our community this container, these words, Oseh Shalom bimromav, O you who make peace on high, make peace, make wholeness, make safety here on this planet. And I want to offer it to us as a container both to pour out our grief for all of the people who have died in war, thinking especially of Israel-Palestine and the spreading war in Lebanon, and also as a container to hold this incredible sense of foreboding, the destruction both that we know has happened, that we grieve, and also the foreboding for destruction to come. We don't have words adequate to hold it, but we as a community over this last year have been pouring our voices out, so that we remember we are not alone and that as humans we continue to call out. So the words Oseh Shalom are at the bottom of page 90. Let's sing together. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, imru, amen. And we'll recite Kaddish at home, mourners Kaddish, for those who have died recently and those who have died at this time in years past. And I will invite you to share names at this moment before we recite Kaddish. And I just want to send love. We are one member of our ensemble down. MJ Gilbert is in Milwaukee right now. Her mom died. And so just really holding MJ in this moment and just bringing her mom into this space. And I'll invite you please to share names of people you're remembering in this time. Rabbi Joey will start over here looking, and I'll start over here, and I'll invite you please to share names aloud. invite mourners to rise and the community to rise with them. We offer Kaddish Tom on page 90. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayei techol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'lalmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brichu le'ela u'le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tush v'chata v'nechemata da'amiran ne'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'yimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. You may be seated. It's my joy to be able to welcome up to the bima two incredible human beings, Gail Zoffer and Nora Snyder, who are here to offer words. And I'm just going to say a word of framing, if that's okay, and as we get you microphones, because we really want to hear you.
We're actually going to have you.
So we're going to hear congregant stories. We always get to hear congregant stories. It's one of my favorite parts of the High Holidays. And this year, our organizing principle is friendships that were made possible, and really were only possible here at Shir Tikvah. And what's amazing is there are so many of them, and I hope that over the course of these 10 days, you tell me, you're like, what about this friendship? Because I want to hear more stories, and we want to hear these stories, but I'm just so thrilled to be able to invite and welcome Gail and Nora onto our bima. Hi, you two.
Shana Tova. I'm Nora Snyder. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been a member of Shir Tikvah for 15 years. For visual access, I have brown hair, I'm 5'11", and I'm wearing a red shawl that Gail made.
I'm Gail Zoffer. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been a member of Shir Tikvah for more than 30 years. I'm 5'2" tall, have curly gray hair with shades of purple, red glasses, and a big smile because I'm standing next to Nora.
My family has had a unique history with bar and bat mitzvahs at this congregation. To start, my dad was one of the first few bar mitzvahs at Shir Tikvah. My brother's bar mitzvah was scheduled to happen on the day everything at Shir Tikvah and the world shut down for COVID. For me, I was one of the first bat mitzvahs back in person, but what I think made mine so precious was meeting Gail.
Nora and I made a strong connection from the first time we met for tutoring on Zoom. Yes, we learned Hebrew, trope, and haftarah, but we also talked about books, needlework, volleyball, and our summer travel plans. I was honored and a tiny bit surprised when Nora's dad, Dave, in a post about the bat mitzvah, said that I was considered to be not only Nora's tutor, but also her friend.
Our friendship didn't end at the bima. Gail and I have been hanging out outside of Shir Tikvah ever since, several times a year. I am a third-generation Shir Tikvah kid. My bubby was one of our founders, my dad a teacher and a board member, and me a student. But that's not the only reason I feel I have such a connection to Shir Tikvah. I feel my roots grew from coming here since I was a baby. I would come here on Sundays until I was finally old enough to have class on Wednesday, which I loved. I loved having Barry and Jim as teachers. I love learning about Judaism and how our beliefs fit into current events and learning about our ancestors and our stories. I love being able to make fun projects and events like the Purim Parade, where one year I dressed up as a Hamantashen. The money given to Shir Tikvah by my family and others has made it possible for me to learn about Judaism and grow as a young adult. One reason I love Shir Tikvah so much is our community and environment. Every time I walk in, I am greeted with a hey or welcome, whether it comes from someone I have known my whole life or someone I have never met. The love and support that stems from Shir Tikvah's community knows no boundaries. Shir Tikvah has loved me and my family through everything, losses and blessings. They have been a part They have been with my family through thick and thin, and I am eternally grateful for everyone who is part of this beautiful community.
My Shir Tikvah story began when, as a graduate student, I worked on a St. Paul collaborative effort to reduce hunger and homelessness. My boss, Pixie Martin, invited me to join her and her husband, Jay, at High Holy Day services at Shir Tikvah. I can still remember sitting in the auditorium of the St. Paul JCC and listening to Congregant Carolyn Levy talk about responding to anti-Semitism at Hamline University. I was amazed that a congregant was given an opportunity to give a sermon on one of the most highly attended services of the year. Those lay sermons exemplified a commitment to participation and lay rabbinic partnership that has been a hallmark of my experience at Shir Tikvah in the last 30 years. Because of that commitment, I've gotten to do things at Shir Tikvah that might not have been possible at other synagogues: giving sermons, sharing my musical compositions, and facilitating Torah study as a layperson. I also had the great privilege of working with Bar Mitzvah students for 10 years and then watching them continue to grow, learn, and teach us in subsequent years. Shir Tikvah has allowed me to share my gifts in service to something larger than myself. Your gifts also have a unique place in sustaining this community. But much more important than anything I've done at Shir Tikvah has been the web of intergenerational relationships that have bound my husband David and me to this community. These are the people and families who are part of our wedding and whose wedding celebrations we have attended, the folks at whose Seder table we sit, the people who cheered David on during his conversion to Judaism and subsequent adult bar mitzvah, and those who comforted us through the loss of our parents. Shir Tikvah members are some of our closest friends, and while no institution is perfect, it is, without a doubt, our institution.
The High Holy Days offer us a chance to look back at our actions in the past and do teshuvah, where we have missed the mark. But they also give us a chance to reflect on what really matters to us and how we want to show up in 5785. How might you support the community members and staff who created many opportunities we have year-round to be together, learn, and be moved by music and ritual?
One of the 5 kavanot for this 36th year of Shir Tikvah's existence is resources. Resources are what allow us to fulfill the Jewish dreams we have as individuals and as a community, and to build a strong, deficit-free financial foundation for the congregation's next 36 years.
Resources come in both form of time and money. In this year, you become a Shir Tikvah musical prayer leader,
volunteer in a jammy classroom,
weed the garden,
help with the spring fundraiser,
make meals for ill congregants,
serve on a committee,
get involved in social and justice advocacy. But we need to give not only our time, but also our money. We invite you to notice what you are grateful for about this community and push yourself to be as financially generous as you are able. These financial contributions help us to continue to welcome people to our high holiday services with no financial barrier, and to offer the programming scholarships that make Shir Tikvah accessible to everyone.
Just like no arts institution can survive on ticket revenue alone, Shir Tikvah, no synagogue, can exist on dues revenue alone. We also need High Holy Day contributions from members and non-members, spring fundraising revenue, and legacy gifts to help Shir Tikvah thrive and offer community to all who want to join us. During the meeting at which I set my first dues pledge in the early 1990s, Larry Silber asked me to think about your monthly commitment to Shir Tikvah as similar to your electric bill. It's that necessary to your well-being, and it's a part of the foundation that makes your life go well. Nora and I urge you to make your High Holy Day contribution, whatever its size, a reflection of how the congregation and its people make your life go well. We wish you a Shana Tova and hope you will make new friends, particularly across generations, to continue to build Shir Tikvah's holy community.
Oh, Dayenu. Thank you both so much. It's my joy to add sweetness to sweetness by inviting Jessica Markison to come join us, our executive director. Jess, this is her third High Holidays and has just been like holding just the edifice of all of this planning and all of this coordinating. So thank you so much, Jess. Jess will be offering announcements.
Thank you, Gail and Nora. I am smiling so big that I had to push my cheeks down. As per usual at Shir Tikvah, I have to go after that. The board often hears me say this because our agenda for board meetings typically has me giving monthly financial updates after Rabbi Ariel or Rabbi Joey provides a Devar Torah. While I jokingly lament my lack of profound, wondrous moments, one of my favorite things about Shir Tikvah is that I am constantly surrounded by people, you, who are so thoughtful, smart, challenging, and funny. And so I want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me be executive director of Shir Tikvah for over 2 years now and allowing us to grow together. And now to the credits, also known as the closing remarks. At the end of service, please return your prayer books and supplements to the usher table. Please pick up your children from this room. Do not leave them behind. Rosh Hashanah youth and family services begin tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. with a main service beginning at 10:30. Following services, we will gather for Tashlik 3 blocks from here at Minnehaha Creek. Please bring a potluck dish to share. Please look on our website to see a schedule of events for all of our High Holy Day season. Thank you to those who made tonight possible, our rabbis and staff team, our prayer leaders, and those who contributed to this service. Thank you to our ushers and shomer, the Macomb Minyan, Twin City Sound, Security, and our hosts at St. Joan of Arc. Our High Holy Days are joyfully and intentionally open to all. Thank you for supporting with your contributions this season. On your way out, please grab a sweet treat of apples and honey to celebrate a new year.
Thanks, Jess. Shana Tova. So we will bless by raising our Kaddish cup. Our Kaddish is found on page 79.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol aham, v'romamanu mikol ashon, v'kidishanu b'mitzvotav. V'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava, et yom hazikaron hazeh, yom truah, mikre kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, udarvecha emet v'kayam la'ad. Baruch atah Adonai melech al kol ha'aretz, mekadesh Yisrael ve'el toshvei tevel ve'yom hazikaron. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
And we'll make motzi on challah. If If you want the words, they're found on page 300.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon.
Lishana Tova. We will sing our way out, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow morning. Ya la la la, ya